You are about to listen to Receive Your Healing by Gabriel Agbo. Copyright 2013 by Gabriel Agbo. Narrated by Ian A. Miller. Chapter 1. All Things Are Possible. At Onitsha, a man, Dan Eek, died, and his corpse was deposited in the mortuary. After 2 days, his body, in company of his wife and others, was being conveyed in an ambulance for burial, when his wife strangely diverted the hearse to where a renowned international evangelist was holding a crusade. She had refused to believe that her husband was dead, and wanted the prayer warriors to attend to him. As prayer was going on, the dead man began to move, and subsequently came back to life. Incredible! But that is a true story of what happened in a crusade at the commercial city of Onitsha in Anambra State, southeastern Nigeria. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Lagos. Now, as I am putting this work together on November the 8th, 2014 at 8 p.m., I am watching Pastor Enoch A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church, on one of his television programs on our national network television, talking about a woman, I believe a member of his congregation, who had her daughter delivered of twins through a caesarean section. Unfortunately, the babies and their mother could not make it, but the mother of the woman refused to accept that they were dead. She rushed to the hospital with a bottle of oil, poured it into the mouth of one of the dead babies, commanded him to come back, and to the surprise of the medical staff, the little thing began to move and cry again. She did the same to the other baby and their mother, who was about being prepared for the mortuary, and had the same result. They all came back to life. Wow! If I didn't hear this particular testimony from somebody like Adeboye, it would have been a little difficult for me to swallow. Even that man of God himself openly admitted that he had not seen this kind of miracle, emphasizing that this woman is not even a minister, but just an ordinary member of the church. He was sharing this in one of his preaching tours overseas. Truly, there is nothing impossible with God if you will connect to him through faith. God is not a respecter of persons, but he acknowledges and honors faith wherever he finds it. With him, all things are possible. As I put this work together, there is a breaking story on our television network of a man from Ogun State in Nigeria, that the vehicle he was traveling in had a crash, and all the passengers died, and their bodies were deposited in a mortuary in Kano State. When the family got the news, they decided that he would be buried in Kano, as the distance from Ogun was much. So one of the man's sisters travelled to Kano to see the corpse and also verify the other things. To the surprise of all, when the morgue was open, the man was found alive after many days in that place. Naturally, when he was eventually taken back to his community, people who have heard that he had died in a road crash refused to touch or even come close to him, thinking he was a ghost. I personally watched this on our network television station, and I believe this angle of the story was what attracted the reporters to the place. A few days ago, I also watched another young man, I think was also involved in an auto crash, telling his family and relations that he was still alive, contrary to the earlier declaration that he had died, and that he was actually thrown into the morgue after the accident, but later got up and came out. There are so many stories like these, and I'm sure you've heard some. But before I tell you why I decided to begin this, my all-important book on healing, with these incredible testimonies, I would like us to briefly look at the Word of God, to see whether there are similar instances of God reversing the impossible condition of death. At Zarephath. There is a very interesting story here. You remember the widow of Zarephath, the one that fed Elijah with her last meal?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?